You'll have to give me a minute. I can't find my agendas.
Tell me when I'm on, Jess.
Come on, how come everybody's so quiet?
Because they're waiting for me, and I finally found my agenda buried in a string of emails. So welcome, colleagues, staff. If you're not speaking, if we could please mute your mic. We're getting a bit of feedback here. First of all, I'd like to invite you all to tonight's Finance Administration meeting held electronically and being transmitted through council chambers, which is located at 39 South Shore Road. For those watching at home, you have two opportunities for input. One during verbal comment. The phone number is 250-749-6681 or by email at general@lakecowichan.ca. That will be verbal comment or question period at the end, two opportunities. And with that being said, I would just like to acknowledge that we are transmitting electronically on the traditional territories of the Subats people, and we thank them for sharing their treasure with us. So looking at introduction of late items, if there is any, Joseph.
None from my part.
None from council, or would that be notice of motion? Councillor Austin.
I just have a question. I didn't see a report from the bylaw officer. Will he be presenting one at a future meeting? I don't think we had one last month too.
The answer would be yes.
Usually at council meeting itself, hopefully.
We could do that, yeah.
Yeah, if we do them there, then we know that they will be on the agenda. Anything else? Okay, looking for approval of the agenda. Moved by Councillor Womaka, seconded by Councillor Sandu. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? That motion carries. Thank you. Business arising and unfinished business. Two items under A, municipal hall upgrades. Mr. Fernandez, please.
Yes, as you can see, I've got a short little report here, and I may have misspoke. I thought the drawings were all ready. We're just finalizing the electrical drawings. So it would be basically ready to go this week. And I had indicated here in the report that we were looking at the demolition of the last bay, but I think for cost reasons, it may be better to do the all of the bays. So that would be one change that we would be looking at. And I've gone out for proposals on that. Hopefully we will get a cost prior to Friday.
Questions or comments from council? Councillor Sandu, please.
Has there been any feedback from the government on the grant announcements?
The answer would be no.
Okay, so it was March 31st where the announcement was supposed to be made by March 31st?
Earlier than March, I think earlier than March 31st, but they've extended the deadline now, and we don't even know when it's going to be announced, other than the fact that it's going to be announced in the spring of 2021, and I'm not sure when that is.
Can I ask a further question? So is there a way of contacting somebody just to see if they have a concrete deadline for the announcement, or is that not appropriate? Or
well, if I may, I think His Worship has contacted the minister responsible, and we have had no response.
okay, thank you.
Anything further?
So if I could respond to that, I sent an email to the Minister of Municipal Affairs a month ago and got a response about 3 weeks later saying that they were oversubscribed and they'll announce in the spring. So nothing's changed as far as the messaging.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Sandu, follow up?
Well, just for that information is, could we have that information just forwarded to council when we're doing this, just so we're up to date on the municipal renovations?
You mean when the grant announcement is made?
Well, that and just in the fact there was contact made, a letter sent, just that the council, Mayor Day sent a letter at just asking, and then the reply back. Just if we could get just information on that when it comes in. This is a really important project, and I know we're waiting, hoping, praying we'll get this grant, but at some point we're going to have to make a decision on how long we hold off. So I want to be up to date on any information regarding this.
Okay. And I think regardless, we are moving forward with this project. We were just hoping for the funding to help with the financing of it, but to have the information would be helpful as well. Anything else? Okay,
I think
moving
we've
on.
waited
Oh,
long
I'm
enough.
sorry.
I think we've waited long enough and it's time to move on.
And if the funding comes, then so be it.
That would be it. And we will not announce the successful tender until we kind of know where we stand on the grant.
Okay, great. Looking around, I see no more hands, so we'll move to B, which is the heritage signs. That was the Pally's request. Joseph?
Yeah, so as it was indicated in the last meeting, we were going to provide you a copy of the landmarks heritage sign policy, and it's attached for your perusal. And as you can indicate, I don't think there is an issue with the sign. It's just an issue with the payment of the cost for the installation of the sign. I don't think the $125 would do it. Just so it's up to council whether they want to make a change on this. The last time we did allow a heritage sign up on landfill, the entire cost was borne by the applicant.
Saw your hand, Councillor Sandu.
Thank you. What is the cost to something like this? No,
It would be the cost of the materials and the labor time to install it.
okay. May I follow through? I had contacted Mrs. Ingram today just to explain the process of that the cost would be borne on her, whatnot. And she was just asking the question of, the approximate cost. And so it's a material and the labor. So she was quite happy with that. And so I don't know if we should make a motion right now for discussion and then.
Joseph, please.
Yeah, the only thing is the location. If council's happy with the location where it's been proposed, then it's just a matter of recovery of costs.
I think that Mayor Day next.
Yeah, so would it be appropriate to have staff reach out and give an approximate estimate of the cost to the person that wrote the letter?
Yeah, we could do that.
And
I think
then,
that's more. Yes.
Councillor Sandu.
But we still need a motion of support that if this is to approve, that it's at cost to
The applicant.
the applicant. So that would be part of my motion. It won't be just that we approve it. It'll be that the cost will be 100% be on the applicant. Is that
So-
appropriate?
So your motion is to contact the applicant with approval, subject to full payment of costs.
Yes. Thank you.
Do I have a seconder on that Counselor Austin. Further discussion on that? Counselor Bomaka.
I think that's already in the council policy regarding landmark recognition, that it would be at cost to be borne by the applicant.
And by clarifying that in the resolution, I think we're very clear on who's responsible. So we're okay on that. Any other discussion? I'll call the question then. All those in favor? Those opposed? That was a delayed hand, was it, Mayor Day? You were not opposed. Okay, thank you. That motion carries. No delegations or representations. And there will be in the Webster's Dictionary a new input from this past year. And I believe it'll say you're muted. So that will be this year's entry into the Webster's Dictionary. I did note I was muted before someone said it, so I will say it. Next, no correspondence. It's number 6 would be the verbal comment portion. And again, that phone number, if you would like to have input on a subsequent item on the agenda, the phone number is 250-749-6512, or email general@lakecowichan.ca. It's 5:12. We will pause for 3 minutes and await any input. 5:15, we'll see you back here. Hello.
Second. Hello, Dalton. Hello, Dalton.
Five 15. Any submissions, Mr. Fernandez?
There are none.
Thank you very much. So we'll move on to reports. And again, if anyone is watching, I know it's dinner time, but at the end, you can submit questions through the same process. Phone numbers 250-749-6681 or email general@lakegougeon.ca. We always look forward to any input or questions. If we can't have the answer tonight, we'll get it to you for sure. So let's move to the first report, Director of Finance. That's the report ending March 31st. Miss Gill, please.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Or evening, I guess I should say. So the statements are attached for the 3 months ended March 31st. The actuals for 2020 are the finalized statements, but they have not yet been finalized by the auditor. The audit is ongoing as we speak. Tentatively, we're setting a meeting date on May the 11th to review the audited financial statements with council. And the 2021 numbers are the budget numbers reflect council discussions to date, budget discussions to date with council. And I've added 2 more grants, the Fire Smart and the Transit Shelter grants. And there's been some small increases to capital since we last talked, but no major changes there. So the financial plan and the tax rate bylaws will be coming forward to the April 27th regular council meeting for first, second, and third reading. On another note, Lakeview Campground, it opened on April the 5th for reservations. And we tried a couple different scenarios. We tried a rolling window, and that wasn't well received. So we've moved back to just where there's going to be a second opening on May the 24th. And at that point, you'll be able to book from after the July long weekend or just after the July long weekend to the September long weekend. And it went really well this year. This might be something that we do every year because there is no crashing. We had less people on the site trying to make reservations for the summer. So I think in all, it went very well this year. If there's any other questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Councillor Sandu, please.
I was just looking at the revenues for the business licenses. So is that amount 22.5 like for 2021 licenses or?
Yes, good question, Councillor Sandu. That is the billings that we have billed to date. Some of those businesses might come back and say we've closed, we're no longer operating, that sort of thing. So it's not what we've collected, it's what we've billed.
Any further questions? So if I may, the Lakeview reservations are in incremental months. Was that what you were saying?
So when we opened on April the 5th, you could make bookings from the May long weekend to just after the July long weekend. And so that time period was open for bookings. So on May the 24th, we will then open from July, I think the reservations might go to July 8th. We'll go from July 8th to September the 7th. So it just splits up the summers a little bit and the timing a little bit. So there's fewer people trying to make reservations.
Excellent. Any further questions on the financial statements? And again, if you peruse them and you do find that something pops up that you would like clarification or you have a question, Ms. Gill is always open to an email or a friendly phone call.
I am.
Great, thank you very much. Thanks for the report. Moving on to the building inspector's report for March 2021. That's just for information. Anything on there that stands out, Mr. Fernandez?
People have come in looking for building permits, but because of the cost of building, so people are holding off the start of construction. So that's an issue we're facing now. We had an applicant from Alberta that was looking at building actually immediately, but he's holding off because of the cost of materials now. So I think that's something that we have to face this year. Nobody's in a rush. They're out taking permits, but they're also making sure that they can afford it.
It's interesting when you look at the price of lumber, for instance, plywood has gone up 1,600% in 18 months. That's phenomenal. And supply, again, is an issue as well. And I don't see any end to the price inflation of lumber products in the near future,
Yeah.
given some of the information that is on the news, et cetera. It will be something to see if there is any, especially with all the subdivisions that have come preliminarily online, whether there will be an uptick in building permits or not, given the pricing. Anyone else on building inspection? Thank you very much. Lake Cowichan Fire Department incident report for February 2021. So I'm first of all looking for a motion to accept, moved by Councillor Austin, seconded by Councillor Sandu. The council approve the February 2021 incident report in the amount of $9,157.58. And with that motion, I will see if there's any discussion or clarification on any items there. Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? So for March 2021, fire report. Another motion moved by Councillor Sandu, seconded by Councillor Bomaka. Council approve the March 2021 monthly incident report in the amount of $9,320.68. Anything on those? Call the question. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? That motion carries. Thank you. Moving on. Number 8. Oh, I'm sorry, Joseph, go ahead.
Yeah, on this next item, we actually have the auditor on standby, if you want to listen to him. So we
Okay.
thought that would be best rather than have staff deal with it.
No, for sure. We'll wait for him to
Yeah,
join
I'll let
us.
him in. Yes. He should be joining us shortly. It's Mr. Graham Roberts.
Are you just on audio, Mr. Roberts, or will you be joining us with video as well?
I'll be
Nope.
joining with video. It was
There
turned
you
off,
are.
sorry.
No problem. Great backdrop. Free advertising.
Free advertising, yes.
Please carry on, sir.
Okay, yeah, I just want to quickly go over this audit service plan. I'll keep it fairly short and brief. So we actually prepared this document, I don't know, December-ish maybe, but so because we actually are active with the year-end audit right now. So this is just our sort of planning piece. So I'll just jump into it fairly quickly. So sort of on the footer note, page 1, this sort of talks about some new issues that we're aware of when we're doing the planning. So obviously, new mayor was elected prior to the year end. Some new reporting pieces, but those are not for until the 2020 year end. Those will have significant, well, the asset retirement obligation will have significant impact for that year. The current year, there's some new account auditing pronouncements, and that's how we audit estimates. So we've been asking Ms. Gill more questions on those than normal. So let's turn over to the next page. We talk about audit materiality. what we use to determine whether or not the statements are recorded correctly. We always talk about material misstatements or not. So when we prepared this document, we had a planned materiality of $245,000. That was before the numbers were finalized, and at the end of the year, total revenue was just over $7 million. So we actually increased that. So when we're actually doing our audit work, we actually have increased that to $275,000 for the year in audit work. So that's just slightly less than 4% of your revenue, just to give you a magnitude of how we determine what materiality is. Risks, we're looking at typical risks for municipalities that we look at, or revenues, or all streams in revenue, and in particular government transfers. There's specific criteria that have to be met in order for liability to be set. So we do testing on that. And related parties, those are always high risk. So when we're doing our auditing, that basically means we always do check for related party transactions. So next page gives you some expected dates. So we've done sort of our field workers are doing some follow-up questions right now with skill, and I think there's a tentative date of May 11th now, I think you said. So yeah, we will be able to meet those dates and have things to you by the end of the month, hopefully. The audit team, so Corey is the partner in charge of the file. I'm the senior manager. Bailey, who is listed on there, unfortunately is not on the team. So I've actually been doing the audit senior for this one, as well as the audit manager. And we also do always attach a tax partner. So if you have any GST or other input tax credits, we have a resource available for you. The next page is just the fees, and those fees come from the our RFP that was a couple years ago. So that's the actual the main part of the presentation. There's some additional appendices available there, and I'm happy to take any questions that you may have.
Great, thank you very much for that Cole's note synopsis. Appreciate that.
Yep.
We'll go into depth when the financial audited statements come to us, I'm sure.
Yep.
I'll look to my colleagues and see if there's any questions or clarification. Anything? That was brief and concise. Thank you very much, Mr. Roberts, and we will see you May 11th.
Hopefully, yeah, May 11th, yes.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
For your time.
Bye.
Enjoy. So there we are on the audit process. And I think one of the things he did mention was asset retirement, which we've heard briefly in our strategic planning sessions, and the impact that that is going to have moving forward on our financials and reserves and replacement. I think that's going to impact a lot of communities, big and small. We talk yearly about infrastructure deficits. We've been hoping and relying on government grants to provide us with financing for that. And now they have mandated that we look at the life cycle of those infrastructure projects and how we can put money aside to replace them. So that's going to be a very, very touchy subject moving forward, but something that we are mandated to do now. So it will be interesting to see what comes forward with that. Nothing else from anyone on the, wow, what a quiet group tonight. Must be the weather. Did everyone get some vitamin D today? No? Mayor Day did. I can tell. He's got a burnt nose. Okay, moving forward, is there any notices of motion? None of those. Public relations items, anyone? Counselor Austin.
I have a couple, one for sure anyway. It's National Volunteer Week next week. And although I've been very lucky to still be able to volunteer at Island Health and at the community services, I know a lot of people haven't been able to this year, but it is important to recognize the volunteers because as we know, many things wouldn't get done without those volunteers. And
Great.
I don't know if Mayor Day wants to mention our virtual poverty meeting tomorrow night.
You have the microphone, carry on.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a virtual poverty conversation. They're hoping lots and lots of people will join in. I've emailed quite a few different groups and haven't heard back from too many. I've heard back from a couple, but so it starts at 6 o'clock and hopefully people will come on and go into the, I think there's 3 chat rooms they go into and we'll see what comes of that. It's really important for our area to find out what we can and should do and what we maybe can plan on. So I think it's important if people would please go and check that out tomorrow. Check the website out first. I didn't bring that in front of me. Wait a minute, I got it here. It's the Moving On Up. You all got one in your mail, I believe. So moving on up, cowichandlake.ca is the place to go. And hopefully we'll see you on there tomorrow.
Great, thank you very much. Counselor Sandu, did I see your hand up? No? Well, this Saturday, we're going to welcome a new business in town. Mountain Man Ice Cream opens at 11 a.m. Saturday with free samples.
Wow.
So whatever your flavor is, go down before it sells out. No, I just wish them the best in their new venture. And I look forward to watching Councillor Bomaka, maybe not daily, but every other day going across for an ice cream cone. Yeah, okay. Okay,
Where is he doing this at?
that's right across from Lorna's Emporium.
Oh, on the main drag.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
We may need to budget for a crosswalk there for Councillor Bomaka.
Yeah.
Or have a jaywalking fine that could go towards our ice cream fund.
That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah, that'll work too. I don't know, maybe a sidewalk, because then I can waddle as the summer goes further.
Great. I wish them well in their new venture. It's always nice to see a new business open up in town. Okay, I think we've come to question period, so I will recite those numbers again. The phone number is 250-749-6681 or by email general@lakecowichan.ca. 3 minutes, so 5:36. If you want to come back, we will look for any input. So if we could have our fellow counselors bring back their video so we know you're with us. You. Anything, Joseph?
No emails or phone calls.
Okay, I'm sure everyone is enjoying the beautiful day today. If there is anything that comes forward, we will try to answer. You can always, after watching on YouTube, if something comes to mind, again, email any one of us. general@lakecowichan.ca would be the appropriate email to get your question clarified. With that, I want to thank staff for all your work putting this together today. And I will look for an adjournment motion. Councillor Bomaka, seconded by Councillor Sandu. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? Motion carries. Thank you very much, colleagues. And I yield the chair to the next committee chairperson.
Which is the parcel tax roll review panel hearing. Joseph, do we need to wait till 6 to move forward with this one? Mr. Fernandez, I'm not good at reading your lips.
No, I think we should wait till 6 because we need public input on that. And the public have been advised that it's 6 o'clock.
Okay, so then we will pause and come back
Back
at 6 p.m. So that gives
Recess
us
till 6?